All right. Welcome, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started today. I'm just going to give a big background a bit about myself for those of you that don't know me, and then I'll talk a little bit about Ed, and then we'll get started. We'll do Ed is actually the founder of a system I discovered for trading back in April of 2024. And ever since then, I was like, okay, this is the one for me. But let me tell you a little bit about myself, and then we'll dive into Ed, and then about the software. We'll do some demos. We'll have some conversation and Q&A at the end. We'll talk about the technical kind of stack behind the scenes, because I know people like to hear about the AI and the automation and the history, all the learning the AI has been doing for the past 25 years, and what those two AIs are actually. So for starters, my name's Francine Lumiller, and I actually came from the financial industry. So I traded stocks for global hedge funds and mutual funds for almost 20 years, and did some of my own options trading as well. And I just didn't want to trade anymore. I didn't want to stare at charts. I am a market technician. I have a lot of education around that. So when I dove into crypto about 5 or so years ago, I was actually looking for a trader. I know there's a lot of money to be made in trading. And I also know what the institutions, the large institutions, think about, the individual investor, which we'll talk about a little bit about that too. They don't give 2 cents about us. I'll watch my language. But and that was another that was another reason, as I always said, if I went back into that industry, it would be to help the little guy, which Ed calls just the average person, right? We're all the little guys with institutional grade tools. So anyway, fast forward, here I am. I was looking for bots. There's a lot going on right now, right? A lot of buzzwords around AI traders and this guy, that guy, and bots. And also, you have to send your money places. You got to split profits. You do these crazy things trying to find some yield, right? And the yield is out there. We just need to find a solid, legitimate, platform with a track record. So anyway, I was experimenting with bots. They would shut down. I think it's trading. They're not trading. There's an error message. I go in there. Oh, geez, haven't I missed this move? Or I run out of money. It's just a lot of different things. And I was still micromanaging the bots. And I just didn't want to do that anymore. And plus, you got to pick what signals, what strategy. It's just too much. It's like a full-time job. So a good friend of mine, Attila Hevesi, introduced me to Ed back in April 2024, like I mentioned. And Attila had actually been working with Ed on his stock auto trader, which we'll dive into, because Ed automated the stock markets back in 2000. So we'll get into that story. But anyway, we met. I got the auto trader, was checking it out. And when he told me 27 technical indicators are programmed into the two AIs that have 25 years of learning behind them, I was just like, okay, sold. I'm done. It has built-in money management. Literally, I don't even check that thing for days at a time, and it's just doing its thing. And I just love that. So
That's how I am.
that's how you are, Ed. So anyway, Ed and I started hosting these calls. He was kind enough. He saw how excited I was about it. I have a community, a small, investor individual community. We look at different opportunities. And so Ed is kind enough to host these calls with me, which I'm super grateful for, Ed. And Ed, Bars, I
My
want you guys,
pleasure.
yeah, I want you guys to know a little bit about Ed, because he has a very interesting background. First of all, Ed was in the Navy. Thank you for your service, Ed, for 8 years. That's how he got his start as a programmer.
Go
Go
Navy.
Navy, boom, boom. So, and then after the Navy, Ed went into nuclear engineering as a software developer. Those guys cranked out like what, 200 programs, like 20-hour days, in a course of how many years were you with those guys? Another 8 years?
Only 2 years. Only 2 years.
Yeah, in 2 years,
And then
almost.
I got a call from Microsoft. So it was
Yeah.
like, all right, hey guys, I'm leaving.
Yep, yep. So Ed headed to Microsoft. He's actually one of the first 350 software developers, engineers at Microsoft, and worked through the ranks there. Ended up moving into, I don't have your bio, Ed, like international global operations, where you had 300 people under you and doing a lot of stuff, a lot of work. And you were making those stock options hand over fist. And you're like, why am I even working anymore? So 8 years at Microsoft, and you were able to retire at the ripe old age of 39. And like everybody in 1995 and into 2000, you're heavily invested in the tech stocks. And when the dot-com crash happened in 2006, or I'm sorry, 2000, you lost 60% of your net worth, and you kind of had a little vendetta as, felt like you got robbed. And I'm going to show these are numbers just going up and down. Now, Ed's been doing AI since 1989. So for those people that think, like, I know there's a lot of interest in AI and data automation. There's a lot of meetups around that. So this is really interesting perspective too for an AI and automation and information gathering that's been happening and learning since 2000. Because since that time, Ed was actually giving the auto traders away. After he learned, he sat in a prop desk those first 2 years when he was automating the stock market, and had many screens of strategies and indicators people could program and set them up themselves. So today we'll fast forward. Ameritrade reached out, Ed automated them, E-Trade, some of the online brokers were calling him, and then he had to start charging for that software. And then
Started to get too many people, too
yeah,
many users, too many clients, too many servers. The
yeah. So
whole business started getting bigger and bigger.
Ed, why don't you pick up from there and just kind of explain what was going on at that time, and then you ended up selling that company and going cloud-based, which makes it a lot easier for everybody right now. And then we'll kind of dive into the mechanics.
Okay. Well, first I want to talk a little. Initially, I'm Ed Barsano. Thank you for inviting me,
Yeah,
Francine.
absolutely.
The when I retired in 95, I thought life was just about money. So I was, hey, I'm done, you know. And then what do you do? What do you do all day? After you've been working, I was working until I was 39, you don't just quit your job cold turkey. I used to think people that died when they retired because they were old. And then I've discovered it's like, no, you die because you're bored. Um, and not only that, I was in all the tech stocks in the 90s, and they were all just going straight up. I wasn't looking at any of it. I didn't have to do any research or anything. And so after my 60% of my wealth vaporized in the 2000 market crash, I realized, all right, I guess I got to get serious here. I guess I got to really look at this stuff and see what's going on. And then I realized, it's like, wow, we're just being robbed. We're just being robbed left and right. The whole system is skewed against the public. And sitting in those prop houses with all those professional traders, watching them, listening to how they talked about the users that were out there, because you could see the level two screens, the order book, you could see what's going on. And they were actually competing with the public, and the public doesn't even know they're being competed with. It's like, wow. I mean, it blew my mind. So I started countering everything that was going on in the software so that nobody could rob us. Like hide all the orders, don't float anything in public view, track that level two screen internally in the software, but don't float an order in public view. Wait until you've already achieved your profit goal before you send that order out there. Then it goes right through your profit goal like hot butter. So so automating the market, creating an auto trader that's going to run 100% unattended is not a what do you call it, a daunting task?
Yeah.
Because that computer's got to know how to deal with everything that they're throwing at it. There's no person sitting there looking at stuff, looking at all this stuff. The computer's got to be looking at all that stuff. And it can do it 1,000 times better than you can, than a person can. Um, so I just wanted to say that about, so that's why I automated the market initially, and then it just got bigger and bigger because people started sharing with me what they were doing. And I was giving them code to do what they wanted to do. It's like, oh, you're going to tell me your strategy? I'll automate it for you. I mean, my original trader had 10 screens of things you could do. Let me rephrase that. 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. And boy, they were blowing themselves up all over the place trying to do their strategy. And so what I was able to do because of that, I was able to get rid of all the stuff that doesn't work. And really that's everybody wants to think if you were taking a training class, you'd be thinking about what are you learning? you're trying to learn all the stuff that works. It's better to just, how about eliminating all the stuff that doesn't work? Because that's the stuff you're not paying attention to. If you can concentrate on that stuff, then profits just automatically start coming out automatically because you're protecting yourself. And the next thing I wanted to talk about though was copy trading. Somebody mentioned it this morning. He
Mhm.
went to Vantage Trade or something. Somebody went to Vantage Trade. And and he said, "Yeah, they let you look at, the whales when they make a trade so you can make the same trade." I'm like, "Well, that's great. However, you don't know the time frame that whale is trading in. He might be trading the long game. So you're thinking he's going to buy something right now and then sell it 5 minutes later. No, he's buying it with the expectation to hold it for 5 years. So I don't know what you think you're looking at, but you have to have your own strategy because the whole trader is based on your strategy. It's not based on somebody else's strategy because you don't know what their goal is. The whales, for starters, I got my smart water here. Um,
You
Smart
always
water.
get your smart right
These
water.
guys ought to pay me. For starters, the um the whales have been buying. We've been on a long-term downtrend for 5 years, the crypto market. So anywhere you bought, you're down right now. Except while it was going down, we were buying and selling. So while it's wiggling, we kept taking money forever. So we're pumping money, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Wait, watch when that trend turns up. And that's what the whales are looking for. They're looking for when BlackRock turns it up. BlackRock is the whale. When they turn that trend up, because it's not the end of crypto. We've had the same discussion for 25 years. I had the same discussion with the stock market back in 2004. I mean, it's the same thing. Coins are down or stocks are down. Boo hoo. And now look where they are. They're all at record highs. And even if they didn't go to record highs, we were still pumping money anyways,
Mhm.
forever. As long as you keep pumping money forever, I mean, try it. Somebody suggested this just a couple days ago. Put a jar by your door, your front door, or your garage door, whichever door you go out in and out of the house with, or even the pantry door. Put a jar by a door and throw $1 in there every time you open that door and close it.
And maybe we should do
And
your
watch how much money you have in that jar
the
in a
bucket and the
year.
well does a good job explaining that too, because it
All
is
right, I'll
a
show.
it's a mindset shift, right? Because and then we'll see behind the scenes in the trader, but we're just
The
kind of
secret is, oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, just be on the buy and hold strategy because if you buy and hold, then you're weathering these storms. You don't know how long it's going to take, right? But if you're
Oh yeah,
always
if you
taking
buy
profit,
something, but if you buy it and just if you're a huddler where you buy something and then you just sit on it and the coin drops 90%, you're dead. And that's millions of people, and that's why most people are not in cryptos because they just got hammered because they bought it up here, it went lower and lower and lower. They're not trading it like we are. You notice the way we trade is right here. You bought it here, it went down a little, but then we bought, and then when it went up a little, we sold. We're constantly buying and selling. And and right now, when you first start, you may not notice it as much because it's like if the market's moving slowly, you're saying, oh, it's not really taking that much, but it's building you. You don't realize it's building that inventory that it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off really, really big. Because, like I said, the whales have been buying the whole time. BlackRock's got $88 billion worth of crypto, probably 65 of that billions in Bitcoin. And they didn't buy it at the bottom, right where we're at. They bought it all the way from up here, all the way down. They've been buying. And we've been buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. So no matter where the price goes, you're always pumping money. Now, I
yeah.
don't know if some people take light of that. and think, well, just you don't realize the magnitude of that. If you keep
Ed,
taking
Ed,
money,
I have a question. I'm a
sure,
little bit lost there. I know if you know the trajectory, yes, buy in when it goes a little bit down, and then you sell when it goes a little bit up. The
piece of
issue is
cake.
like how you gonna know you are on a local minimum. How you gonna know that? How's your software knows that?
No,
Because no one can
how's
predict
it
that.
gonna know what?
How are you gonna know like today? Let's say for example, trading today around 12 o'clock is gonna go down, so that's good time to buy.
No, we
How
don't
are you
know.
gonna know?
We don't look at times.
No, I know you don't look at time, but what are you using to figure that one out?
I
Uh,
don't need to
To
use it. If I bought it up here and say
Because
I'm
how are
buying
you
and
gonna know
selling,
that that's the good time to buy? Because
well,
you
it
can
doesn't.
predict the future.
I don't. Nobody can predict the future. Nobody in the whole world. And if anybody tells you they can, they're lying. If
Okay.
anybody tells you they can tell you what a coin's going to do tomorrow, they're lying. All right.
Not even
That's
in 2 seconds, you don't know what is gonna happen
and
because
talk,
you may end up buying and then it just keeps going down.
so talk
that's
about,
okay if it goes down. See, it's
yeah,
going down. This
talk about
bucket is going down.
Yeah, talk about the general parameters, like the default settings for the trader are up or down 3%. Let's start there. Now, before, let's say a crypto moves or a stock moves down 3%, the auto trader with millions of lines of code in the cloud wants to make a purchase. It calls the AI and says, is it going to go lower? Should I wait or should I buy it now? Now, the AI within the next few minutes or 20 minutes can say, hold off, hold off, hold off. And then when it stops saying, we don't feel sure
Then
about
it's
it,
going
go
to
ahead
go
and buy it.
lower.
That might be how it's handled in your
But
mind.
that's one that the AI is a bell and a whistle,
Yeah,
in my opinion. It's a nice add-on, but the trader itself, you don't have to know. You don't have to know whether it's going to go down or how long it's going to. Nobody could know that anyways. You
yeah.
can't know
Exactly.
that. You can, and that's okay. See, that's the thing. Like I said, BlackRock has they've been buying. They're sitting on $88 billion worth of crypto. They didn't buy it all at the bottom. But that's where the coin prices are right now. They've been buying it for the last 5 years while all the way up here and adding as it was going lower. So have we been. We've been adding as it was going lower. I own shares. I own Alchemy Pay at 12 cents a share, which is the top. And it's right now it's less than it's at a half a cent. I've taken 350,000 in profits off that coin just on the wiggles while it was going lower. If you understand this bucket in a well, if you really understand this, because this is important, because if you just keep pumping money, it doesn't matter if I'm pumping money at the top up here or if I'm pumping money all the way down here. I'm going to keep pumping money and it never stops for the rest of my life. Remember this, mathematically, a coin can only drop 100%. That's all the way to the bottom. But profits, I can take 20,000% profits. I can take 100,000% profits. It's just going to keep pumping money like it's doing here. Now watch what happens
Well,
here.
you
The
pump money
coin jumps.
if you are keep pushing money in there, right? Because let's say
No,
for
I'm
example I
not.
have
No,
hundred
no, no.
dollars.
Oh,
Okay,
the
let's say for
software
example.
already knew. Of course you're putting more money in because you're buying more shares at a lower price. However, the software, as soon as it bought that coin up here, it already calculated how far down it's going to cover. It says, I want to manage this coin all the way to the bottom. This
Which
is
can
saying,
also be set.
I
The default
plan
is
on
set
that
for
coin going down.
75%. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
That,
Francine.
that goes into the trade window really quick, which is default set to down 75%. So it's managing it down to that level. You can extend it down 90%. You can make it 40%. That's one of the parameters that we
So,
can.
so
My
you guys
strategy,
selling fractions? You don't sell the whole thing?
Excuse me.
no, no.
Can
When you put your
we
money
do the
in,
whole presentation first?
Sorry?
Save
yeah,
the
yeah,
questions for
before
the
we
end
get to
so
the
that can we
Q&A,
hear the
Okay.
whole
let's,
presentation first and hold the questions to the end so one person doesn't
Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
I think
dominate
that's
All
a
right.
good
Thank you
the
guys.
idea.
Thank
call.
you. Take care. Bye bye.
And Abdel, you can always send email to support at gobabytrade.com.
He
And
already,
I'll even call you and explain it to you,
he already left
personally.
it. He just hopped
Oh,
off
did
the
he?
call. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
he's probably,
you can't fix. This is the thing about what I've been doing for 25 years. The software's not the problem. The people are the issue
Mhm.
because they're brainwashed. They don't get it. And most people's brain mindset, and it's a DNA thing. We're all there. We're all the same.
Yeah.
We start out when I used to trade, I remember when I bought something, I want it to go straight up. That's the mindset that we have. And we're not used to it going down. You notice this whole trader is not based on I bought it up here and it went straight to the moon. It's based on the coins going to I'm planning on that coin going all the way down. I don't even care where it goes because the goal is to keep pumping money. And watch what happens when the coin jumps. And the stock market prices move like this. They just kind of go up and down. The crypto market prices jump around. So, I mean, a coin will literally jump 50% in 1 minute and then a couple minutes later drop back down. I mean, I watched Limit 3, a couple months ago, it went up 150% in profit, straight up. And then the auto trader, watch what it does when it jumps like that. It jumps all the way up there. You sold off all that inventory you thought was underwater. So I'm not even worried about it. And even if it don't go back there, I'll sit down here and pump money for the rest of my life at the bottom. I don't even care. As long as that coin stays in business, they're going to have to keep paying me. It's almost criminal what I'm doing here.
Because any
It
of the
feels
lots you
criminal.
own are small lots at higher prices anyway. So the profits you pull out overtake the unrealized
Yeah.
now over time. Yeah.
It's going to divide your money when you first start on each coin. You're allocating so much funds to each coin. And it's going to divide that up so that it knows, in my case here, if I go to the strategy, I can go right down to the bottom and it's telling me how many lots. I'm saying 3% drops. That means if I start up here, here's your default setting when you get it. 3 times 25. 3 times 25 is a 75% drop. It's telling me right here, my expected trading window is a 75% drop. That's all the way down to here, about 75% down. And it's saying all funds except the profits that were saved, because each time it takes profits, it throws those in a save bucket, so it's not using those, will be used in those 25 lots. So if I buy a coin and it drops 3%, and you're buying and selling because it's going up and down, but if it keeps trending lower, then you're accumulating. If I buy it on 3% drops 25 times, that'll take me right to the 75% mark. That 75% drop. So it divides up my money so that it knows how many shares to buy at each interval to make sure that it can take it all the way to the bottom. So you're guaranteed to be able to trade that coin down to a 75% drop. In the normal world, coins don't drop like that. Stocks don't even drop like that. You don't get drops like this. This is very rare. This is what's happening in the crypto market is different. The whales are trying to accumulate all the shares. See, they're different than us. Normal people just want to make money. The big guys want to make all the money. And that's just what's happening. And they pushed Bitcoin to 60,000, then they pushed it down to 24,000, killed the whole public, killed everybody, ran everybody out of the crypto market, which is good for us, but it ran everybody else out. So the big guys, and I say the big guys, Fidelity, Vanguard, BlackRock, Tom Brady, all those guys that are putting millions and millions and billions into the market, they own all the shares at this point. 95% of the shares to be, a nice round number. Only 5%. We're out here fiddling around with 5% of the shares. They own all the shares, and they use every excuse they can to use it because they're trying to just push it lower and lower because they discovered something, and I've discovered it too. Every time the market goes lower, when we have down days, these down days, people panic and get out. Not GoBabyTrade users, but everybody else. And it would be GoBabyTrade users too if I wasn't talking to them, because a lot of people just don't get it. And they stare at their account value. And I'm like, and I've said it for years, stop looking at the account value. All that is your open inventory going down in value. So that pushes the account value down. Now you're offsetting it because you're taking profits, your closed positions. Now ACH, I'm net positive in this trade. I have another trader where I've taken 350,000 in profits on that same coin. And so the thing is, if you keep taking profits forever, nobody can stop it. This is just commerce I'm talking about. I shouldn't even have to be talking about it. It's how a 7-Eleven works. It's how a convenience store works. It's how every business in the world works. You buy something at one price and you sell it at a higher price. And you add money management and risk management to it, which is what the software does. And it's doing perfect money management. It's doing the ultimate money management. If you were running a business, take my brother, for instance. Years ago, he had an arcade right next to a movie theater. How great is that? You know? And before the movie starts, all the kids are in there putting their quarters in the machines. And every day that at the end of the day, he'd open up all the machines and take all the money out and go and blow it. Poor money management. Because what happened at the end of the month when he can't pay his electric bill and he can't pay his rent bill for the space he's in? There you go. The auto trader doesn't have that problem. The auto trader does proper money management. It skims the money into the save bucket down here on the bottom left, current profits saved. So you're saving all your profits. And the principal that you put in, the initial money you put in, it's using that. And it's making sure that is what is used to the maximum to cover you all the way down to a 75% drop. If you reach a 75% drop, which we did do, which is amazing, this market dropped bigger than the 1929 market crash. And back then, people were jumping out of windows. You're not seeing that now because nobody's in crypto. Most people aren't in the crypto, so you don't see anybody jumping out of a window. They already did the jumping out of a window earlier. So what happens is all the profits are going in here. If it was to go down more than 75%, you come over here real easy to the edit strategy page, because at that point you've used up all your money. At that point, you've used up all these funds, okay? Because the software would have used all the funds. This says this is the funds it had to invest. This is what it had, this is what it started with. This is what it used, and this is what it still has. Okay, and without the profits being added to it. Okay, then what you do is you go to the edit strategy screen, like I did. I just put a big number in there that covers me. It's going to stop at 100% anyway, so I could throw anything in here at this point, any big number, just to get this over 100%. Expected trading window now is all the way to the bottom, so I don't even care anymore. And now, if I'm out of money, I can always come over here. I can go to manage profits, and I could release money to the trader. I could say minus 15,000. So release 15,000 from the save bucket. Now there's only $694 in there. You can see when I released money before. 10,000, 10,000, 15,000, 15,000. And you know, I'm putting it back. I'm going to put it back right now too. I'm not going to leave that out there. But you know, I can release money to the trader anytime I want. And I can put more money in my save bucket if I wanted to. I'm going to put that money I just took back out. I'm putting it right back into the save bucket. So that's what happens. So you never really run out. You shouldn't run out of money. I have another account where I have a Coinbase Visa card that I live on. It's the card that keeps on giving. I mean, the profits I make every month just blow away anything I can spend. It shows the 30-day profits. And this is a very slow month. It could make 30,000 next month. I don't even use discount cards or Sam's Club cards where you get 5% cash back and all that. I like to use my Coinbase card because it takes it right out of my USDC and the auto trader just puts it right back in. And it's just a never-ending stream of money and it's fun to use it. It's like the card that keeps on giving.
It is fun. Ed, so tell us exactly what we're looking at here. I can see that you started that auto trader in February
This one started in
20
23.
with a couple $100 grand. Is that what you usually start them with?
Yeah, I started it with 200.
Yeah, and I know you have one
And
back from 2021. You have a few different ones, but
yeah. But you know, it shows live trader. There's view videos on every screen. There's not a lot of screens. You don't need this. That's for just to tell me what server my auto trader happens to be running on. I've got hundreds of servers in a co-location center. All auto traders are running on my servers, but they can only talk to your Coinbase account or your Visa or your Kraken account.
Mhm.
Meaning I don't have access to your money at all or your coins.
It's an
The auto trader
API connection. Yeah, it's
it
pretty
can
easy.
see through the API connection. I can see what you have and I can send orders to them. They are filling it. Everything you see is in there. This profits saved is just a number. It's telling the auto trader, look at my cash, my USDC that's in Coinbase, and subtract that amount that profits out of it so that I don't use that amount in my calculations.
And because your profit saved is lower than total profits taken, like you use that. You went and bought
Oh,
a
I've been living off of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So
I mean, I've been blowing money like I don't even care anymore, man, because this literally is a money machine that will never stop. And we've got the market trapped at the bottom. And like I said, BlackRock is underwater by billions of dollars. Everybody is. They push these coins down 90%. And they're sitting on all this inventory the same as we are. But the difference is we keep pumping money at the bottom. I don't care. I'm gonna just keep taking money. You can see my filled orders on the lower right here.
yeah, and some of them have AI next to it.
Yeah, I mean, if it has AI, here I'll show you what the AI says. Like here, this one says this one below it doesn't have AI. It says the software says I want to buy. The software is the star of the dish. The software is doing all the math. The AI is just looking at the 27 indicators, and AI is pattern recognition. And it's saying, I've seen this pattern a million times, and I'm 88% sure this coin is going to go lower, so don't buy it yet. However, the auto trader I have manually set to 95%. I want the AI to be 95% confident.
Mm-hmm.
And so the auto trader will just take the trade if the AI doesn't say don't take it. However, the one above it has AI, which says you'll see it in your trader where it'll say AI blocking trade. It'll actually tell you that right on the screen. And it's the same way with the profit goal. You know, when the software sees profit, it says, I want to take the profit. And the profit, which is cool, is not only is it your goal, like my profit goal is set to 5%. And again, that is on the edit strategy page right here. Profit goal, 5%. That's this one. And you can manually change that. But the software will add the trading fees to that 5% profit goal. So when it sees 5% profit, it also adds the fees that they're going to charge you for it, so that we're actually going for like a 6% profit goal, so that our fee is covered in the trade. And then if AI kicks in and says, hold on, don't take that trade yet. Don't take that profit yet, because I've seen the pattern and I'm 98% sure it's going to go higher. Now, the AI can only really predict out about 30 minutes. It can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. AI is more like for fingerprints, eye scans, that kind of stuff. It can spot a zebra through a picket fence, I like to say. But it can't tell me where that zebra is going to go tomorrow. It can't do that. AI can't do that. It's pattern recognition, and it's how you program it. And really, I've noticed the accuracy falls apart after about 30 minutes. Stochastics, MACD, relative strength index, all those indicators start falling apart. It's taking a snapshot in time and saying right now what's going on. Should I take that trade right now or wait? And that's it. It's not saying wait till tomorrow. because the coin could drop 50% tomorrow. And you can see it's like a 7-Eleven right here. This is buying, and if you look on the left, it says open, 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 and these are closes. You know, the ones with numbers say close, close. And you can see it's just a never-ending stream of like a 7-Eleven. You fill the shelf, and then you sell it. You fill the shelf. You're constantly filling the shelf and selling it. Constant. It's just a never-ending. I've trapped the coins. I got the market by the you know what. I literally do after 25 years. And I took away all the gambling. It's just fill the shelves and do proper money management and just rake out money for the rest of your life. I've literally got the market trapped at the bottom right now. I've got them trapped. They can't move. If they can't move for anybody. None of these coins can go up 5% without giving me money. Thank you for the free money.
You were set to sell at 5%. Yeah.
There's no more free ride for the whales. No more they get to move prices around at will and we're over here buying and holding and just sitting there waiting for it to go up 90% because we bought way up there and we're waiting for it to go up here before we can sell. We own it all the way down on 3% increments all the way down. So I've got them trapped all the time. Now, if they have a big jump, a 20% jump in a coin, which they do at least once a week, one of these coins will jump 20%. Boom, a bunch of inventory just sells off. And some of you have already heard me say it, but it's like a 7-Eleven. If I only have one bag of potato chips on my shelf and a school bus pulls in, I'm only going to sell one bag of chips. But if I have a whole bunch of bags of chips on the shelf and a school bus full of kids pulls in, I'm going to sell a lot of inventory. Again, it's just commerce. Commerce has been around for thousands of years. We all know it works. There's no reason it wouldn't work here. And it does work here. See, I always say down is good because that's a gift from God. The fact that we could get these coins to drop 90%, man, what a gift. Wouldn't you love to be able to say, all right, I want Tesla and Nvidia and Microsoft to drop 90%, please, so I could buy it at the bottom? No, we don't get that gift. They don't do it for us. But they did it for us in these cryptos. What a gift. They allowed us to load up all the way down, all the way to the bottom. And who gets rich when they're loading up? Who gets rich at the bottom? The people that bought at the bottom.
Yeah,
who loses all their money? The people bailing out at the bottom. And that's how society is. They sell out when things are going down instead of buying when they should be buying. Warren Buffett will teach you that. But it's just this. You can look here. It's just it's a never-ending stream of money. Almost profits just about every day or every other day, every up day. It's free money. They just keep pumping money. And it's not a joke, man. It really is free money. And it never ends. And there's nothing they can do to stop it.
Well, let's take a look at some other. Thanks for sharing this, Ed. If you want to share briefly too, some people ask about the numbers to the side of like SHIB is 30 and ACH, and then kind of open that up.
Yeah, I'll show you what these are. But I wanted to make one more comment about those AI bots that are out there. You see all these AI bots that are popping up all over the place. They didn't exist in the stock market at all. I was the only one that had AI in my traders since 2001. And I never bragged about it. I've been doing AI since 89, since my Microsoft days. But people, all these bots since cryptos came out are popping up and they're sitting on their beds. They're sitting in these kids are creating bots. I'm like, first you got to know how to make money in the market. Because if you don't, all you're going to automate is losing strategies. Then you're going to have an automated trader automatically losing. That's all. It doesn't do you any good to have an automated trader that doesn't know how to make money. Right. And I saw one bot out there, and I don't really look at the bots, but somebody sent me an email and said, hey, Ed, will you look at this for me? So I went and clicked on it. I only looked at their website. They really don't even explain the AI other than it's in their name. In their domain name, hey, look, I have an AI trader, but then they don't talk about the AI, and one of them said, You can pick from 1 to 50 strategies. And I'm like, you have 50 strategies that make money? Forget it. I have one strategy that makes money. I don't have 50 of them. And the other one was a real doozy. It said, if you give us this much money, we'll give you one strategy, but if you give us more money, we'll give you a better strategy. Goodbye. Goodbye.
What I
See,
talked about at the
they're all just
beginning.
a joke. They're not even real. And I feel sorry for the public who's biting on that stuff. So what did you ask me to show?
So if you click on like ACH, for example, at the top, and we see the
Oh,
26,
okay. Yeah.
talk
You
about
can
like,
click on a plus.
yeah.
You can expand it by clicking on that plus. I'm going to minimize these filled orders down here so I can see more of the screen down below. And you can see each lot that you own, how much it's up or down, or when it's going to buy more. This one says the current price is 068. And it's telling me right up here, if the price drops to 0068, if it drops to 0062, it'll buy more. That's a ballpark number. It can change, but it's not going to change a lot. So it's letting you know in advance how far it has to go down before it's going to add more. Then the same thing over here on the target price. It says if the price goes from 0688, which is where it's at now, to your target price of 0084, that's up, then it's going to sell it. It's letting you know in advance when it's going to buy and when it's going to sell. It's telling you in advance. This is not a black box. It's not secret.
Yeah.
And then this tells me I have 24 lots. Remember what I said about having a lot of inventory on the shelves? I cringe when I see nothing on a shelf. When I walk into a store, if I walk into a Trader Joe's, my eye, without me planning it, it automatically can see those empty shelves. They come right out. And I'm like, man, you got to have inventory on that shelf. 10,000 people are going to walk past that shelf. and you have nothing on the shelf. Why aren't you sell smart water on the shelf? Sell something on that shelf. The owner would have something on that shelf. It's because the owner's not around. Nobody cares. The workers don't care. But you never have empty shelves.
Yeah. If you look at things.
So a lot of inventory is good. This is telling me I have 24 lots. That means it bought 24 times going down. This one here says it bought 25 times. I'm sitting on 25 lots of inventory. This one has 36 lots. I always say down is good, and a well-seasoned auto trader has a lot of inventory. That's why I try to tell people when they're like watching a webinar, and I'm not a salesman, but I'm saying every day that you don't have an auto trader, you're not building inventory. The auto trader is prepping you for the kill. Because when that market goes up, all this inventory is going to sell, and you're going to make a fortune. Plus, while it's going up, it's going to be wiggling. So you're actually going to be buying more and selling that off while it's going off too. You're going to be double dipping on the way back up. And you want to have a lot of inventory.
Yeah, so that's
And here's the level 2 screen. We'll just look at the level 2 screen just
even
so
though that's
everybody
only
can
on
see it.
your trader, no one else see that's for you. Yeah, on the
Well, it's too much data, to pump to everybody's trader. Most people aren't looking at it, and I'm not even looking at it. But you can see like that. Look at that 28 shares. Did you notice? You see the best bid and ask. The best ask is right above the spread. The best bid is right below it. The one number right below it. These are the best, and that's what everybody sees in the world. They say, what's the current, and look at these fake orders. Look at that, 11.7, 11.8, 11.8. These aren't real orders, because if I'm buying 10,000 shares, I'm going to have to buy that. I'm going to have to go all the way up until I can add this up to get to the 10,000 shares. So instead of this price, I'm going to be paying this price. And then you got a million other people buying, so they're going to pluck out some of these orders also, which means I'm going to have to even go higher to grab those shares to get your 100,000 shares. So you're going to even be paying more. So that's what the software is constantly adding up. How many shares am I going to have to, how high do I have to go in order to buy this coin? And so a lot of times somebody will tell me, it went up there. Why didn't it buy or why didn't it sell and stuff like that? And I'm like, because you're looking at the best bid and ask. Look at these two fake orders down here on the bottom.
Yeah.
Those are just fake. Because
Yeah.
you're not buying 19 shares. Or 11 shares.
Yeah.
So
I love that you have
the
the level.
software does all this math. This is 25 years of a full-time job. This has literally been my full-time job for 25 years. Communicating with the public, getting feedback from everybody. And all the things people wanted me to do in the early years, I gave it to them. I gave them all the functions. I gave them 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up.
Yeah.
And they were doing it. And they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm like, stop, man. You're not, you don't understand it. It's the market. The market is in control here, not us. We're piggybacking the market. Some people actually thought that they wanted me to make the coin. I literally had somebody tell me that. I want you to make this coin go up. And she wasn't joking. She was serious. And I'm like, blew my mind.
Yeah. But that's the
It's
thing.
like I can make the coin go up. I can prep you for when it goes up. We've got the squeeze on the market now because we've got them trapped at the bottom and they can't move. And if they try to move, they got to pay me. So we've got them right where we want them. I got the market right where I want it for the rest of my life. And there's nothing they can do to stop me.
Well, and let's
I'm
take a
not
look at,
violating any laws.
right? I know. Well,
It feels like it's criminal, but I'm not violating any laws.
and speaking of laws, you guys, this is only educational. I'm sharing a software tool that's not investment advice or financial advice. As always, check with, do your own, has to resonate, do your own research and make sure that, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just sharing what I'm using and what I love. And Ed, as you can see, is pretty passionate about it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
grateful for doing this for 25 years, Ed.
well, we can't guarantee, you can never say I guarantee returns on a certain time frame because I don't know what that time frame is going to be. I don't know how fast. You see, if a coin drops 30% in 1 month, which is the kind of stuff that they're doing with the market,
Yeah.
they're torturing everybody. They're driving the prices lower, which drives people out of the market. And well, when the people get out, say I'm BlackRock, for instance, and I want to buy $30 million worth of Dogecoin. Well, where am I going to get? There has to be $30 million worth of sellers at this current price, or reasonably close to this price. How do you get people to sell $30 million right now? And they've figured out how to do it. They just drive the prices lower. What is everybody taught in school? You guys I saw the training classes. They say if a coin or a stock is down 3%, let your stop loss kick in and sell it at a loss. We don't use stop losses. We add when it goes down, we don't sell it. But everyone's taught to sell on a 3% drop. What did they do 1 week ago? Just about a week ago. They pushed, and I had a screen with all the coins listed, every one of these coins. All the coins, not just these, but all the coins, like 500 coins between Coinbase and Kraken listed. Every coin was down 7%, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7. Now tell me that's not institutional behavior. They literally said, we're going to push this market down. We're going to push every coin down 7%. We're going to make every one of those stop losses kick in so they can load up. It's just criminal what they're doing. And the public doesn't seem to see it. Like I said, this is therapy for me so I can get it off my chest because it's been driving me nuts for 25 years. The public is just in the dark and I can't fix them.
Let's take a look at the
Now,
other.
how about picking coins? How do we pick coins? How
Yeah.
do we pick these good coins? Well, we have a report. Again, I was talking about this. Somebody actually gave me this 7-Eleven report, an actual report. If you were creating a 7-Eleven right now, you're not going to call every vendor. You'd go nuts. You're not going to call 1,000 vendors. You're going to deal with a distributor. And a distributor is going to give you a report similar to this, and it's going to say, show me the stuff that moves. Show me the stuff that sells the most. So that's what this report shows. It looks at the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. how many closed trades. Every closed trade, by the way, is a win in trades. We never sell at a loss unless you do it manually. And then, yeah. So this is showing like the top coin lock-in, 1,598 trades last year. Swift, 1,574 trades last year in the last 12 months. Now, Swift and SPA, two coins, they were number 1 and 2 for like 6 months. And then a couple months ago, Lock-In jumped in there because it had a few good months. And then Swift and SPA had a few slow months. So we got the top movers here at the top of the report. And if you look to the right, you can actually see last July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. You can see how many trades they were doing, they did each month. And you see what these numbers look like? Look at this, 98, 118, 74, 71, 77. I don't know about you, but I feel like if I'm trading, what is this coin that did all that? PRCL, a lot of people trading it, number 4 on the list. A lot of people trade that coin. They kind of feel like they're going to sell a lot of them. They're like monster drinks in the 7-Eleven, you know, you're going to sell. You kind of know that if I put that on my shelf, I'm going to sell a lot of them. Now, as opposed to the junk near the bottom of the report, you know, where you're getting, you know, here, any of these, 4 trades that month, 0, 1, 0, you know, 18, 30, I mean, 21, even that's better. Even that's better than, you know, the ones above it and below it. 8, 3, 6. These are junk. For an auto trader, I want stuff that turns inventory. Somebody actually emailed me the actual 7-Eleven report. I don't want to waste your time bringing it up, but it looks just like this. And I created this before I ever saw a 7-Eleven report. But he actually showed me the report. He said, you nailed it. And he manually put iodine at the bottom because I always say, you're not going to buy iodine in a 7-Eleven. And if you do, they're not selling any of it, you know, very much. It would be like that. You know, I mean, who buys iodine nowadays unless you're as old as me?
Right.
I know what iodine is. Most kids wouldn't even know.
Yes, I know.
But anyways, that's what we do when you start out. The software suggests, you know, good coins. Like 3 coins are the top 3 right away. Utility coins. What it looks at is, I go down the list and I say, I want a utility coin, but I also want it to be available. Here, available exchanges. I want it to be available at Coinbase and Kraken. Just because I don't know when you sign up which exchange you're going to be using. And then you might decide to change exchanges, and then you don't want to be sitting on a bunch of coins that you can't transfer.
But those are the 2 options.
Otherwise, Swift is great. I mean, I love Swift. I have another trader that trades it. And SPA, I trade that one also. But right now, Coinbase and Kraken is here. It's also a utility coin. I don't want meme coins. And I'm saying what I mean is most people, when I talk to them, they don't want meme coins. So PRCL would be number 1, the best coin right away to add. And then if I go down further and I go to the next utility coin, but it's Coinbase, go to the next utility coin now, I got to go all the way down to XCN, number 9. This one here, it's a utility coin and it's available at Coinbase and Kraken. So I would grab that coin. And then you can go down, I'm not sure where the next one is, but just go down a little further and you'll see the third one. You know, we give you 3 suggested coins. I also added just a week ago this new field here. I'm always improving things, trying to help people. Percent of traders. How many of our thousands of traders are in each coin? Don't you think that would be an interesting thing to know? There you go. So 39% of them are in SUI, 35% are in ACH. I love ACH. 29% are in Bonk, 27% are in XCN, you know, 26% are in Pepe, 23% are in Swift. You know, it's just, there you go. You know, you can go down the list and see what percentage of people are in each coin. Now, some people would say, what do I care what other people are doing? Hey, I don't care. You know, ignore the field if it doesn't mean anything to you. You know, it's just here to help. You know, I'm just trying to give you stuff that you might find valuable, might find interesting, and maybe pick in your coins. Because a lot of people, they come on board and they come on board with a bunch of junky coins. And the first thing I tell them is, you know what? You got 30 coins in your trader right now. Why don't you take a look at this report and see where you stand on some of those coins? And you know where they stand on a lot of them? Down here in 384 or 383. I'm like, these coins aren't even moving. You know, I mean, 1% of the users are even in it, you know, are trading it. And now, not that that matters, really. It doesn't matter who's trading it, you know, but it might be helpful. You know, 471 trades in a year versus 1,500 trades if you go to the coins at the top. So most people trade the coins at the top. If you were running 7-Eleven, you definitely would be trading the coins at the top. Monster drinks, potato chips, candy bars, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, the stuff that you're going to turn inventory on. You don't want stuff that's sitting on a shelf and not selling.
So Ed, let's we're about the top of the hour. Let's open up some Q&A. There's a couple of
yeah,
questions.
Let's go to
in
the
chat.
Q&A. I mean,
yeah, and then we could maybe move into the top trader report. But I want to be respectful of people's time. Let's go into let's see. Oh,
well, Abdel's gone, right? So we
yeah.
don't gonna, you know, we don't have to have arguments. If you don't believe in the strategy, then just move on. It's okay. I'm not, you know, I can't fix the world. I've already tried. The world is brainwashed.
And the thing that we love about this and myself as a professional equity trader and market technician in the past is that, you know, it's stressful to try to guess and predict. And like I said, nobody can do that. You can have the best indicators in the world. But this is we're just taking what the market gives, right? We can't force things. We just want to show up where there's wiggles, where there's volatility. We want to be taking profits regardless of price, regardless of anything else. And I don't want to stare at it and deal with it at all. So that's just my philosophy.
Well, the thing is, the buy and holders all got killed over the last few years. They all got killed. You know, I mean, here's what happened. Bitcoin went up to 60,000. And then millions of people got in, and then they rocketed down to 24,000. And then millions of people got out and got hammered, and now they're all running scared from crypto because they didn't know how to manage it. The auto traders you would have bought it all the way up, would have sold it all the way up to 60,000, bought it all the way back down to 24,000 on 3% drops. However, it didn't necessarily go 3%, 3%, 3%, 3%. It went 3%, 10%. 12%. It was jumping down. It wasn't going down slowly. So and then what did we do? Sold off all that inventory all the way up to 120,000. And now it's been sitting at 70,000 now for 6 months. It's literally, and the people are out there changing their strategies. I mean, in other systems, everybody's going nuts trying to change stuff, thinking they can make the market do stuff. I'm like, the auto trader's just sitting back. We're at ease, man. Because the auto trader's not going to do, you know, if the coin's not moving, I mean, here, let's look here. Let's go to today. The last trade this auto trader made was on 3/5, and what is today? The 10th. 5 days ago. They're not moving. If they're not moving, the auto trader can't be faked out. It's like, just sit back. Hey, if they're not moving the prices, who am I to start getting goofy and start changing things? It's like, sit back and relax. Let the prices come to you.
Yep. So thanks, Ed, for going into that. So
That's cool.
Rick, there's a couple questions. If you guys, let's see, Jeff is hoping you can Jeff, why don't you unmute and make sure your question's getting addressed? And then Rick, I know you have one as well. If you guys want to raise your hand, we're a small enough group. Let's make sure
Sure.
Jeff, you have a couple of questions.
And Jeff, I can always talk to you on the phone too and walk through your trader with you and all that.
Yeah, go ahead and let the people that don't have it get their questions answered. If there's time for me, we can circle back around, or you know, Ed, just reach out or whatever. All right.
Works. Yeah. I mean, we can always talk. You know, I talk to people, hey, you know, The rule is, if you call me, you better have 3 hours to kill. Because we're going to talk about the border and the
All right.
vaccines.
And
And if you're married, I'm going
so,
to tell you how to help your marriage. Just do what she says. You'll be all right.
all right. So Rick has a question. He says, as for the percentage saved, does this value change with a small versus big account or a bull run versus a bear run market? My thinking is if I have an account with say 5K, I would want to save less percentage and use more capital for buying more lots. And if you want to unmute Rick, you're welcome as well.
Well, you can always buy more. It's always going to buy. The lots are going to be fixed. You don't have to really worry about that. But the danger of not saving, and this has happened. This has happened with some people. I'll tell you what happened. They gamble. They don't know they're gambling. I helped somebody just before this webinar, and he had down at the bottom here. He had, I think it was 18. Let me take a look. Or no, it was 12. It was 12. Yeah. 3 times 12. 3% drops, adding 12 times. I told him, you're going to run out of money. I literally took the call 15 minutes before this webinar because he sent email and I took a look at his trader. I'm like, oh man, this guy's in gamble mode here. Because 3 times 12, if you only add 12 times on 3% drops, that's a 36% drop. When that coin drops 50% or 60%, he's going to be dead. You know why? Because his last buy will be all the way up here and the price is down here. So even he's going to have to wait until it goes all the way back up to his last buy. Even though the coin's doing this down here while it's on its way up there, he's not making a dime because he's not trading because he ran out of money until it goes all the way back up here so he can sell that one off. And then he can start selling the ones he has above it off, as it wiggles around. But so, I told him, get this thing back to at least the default setting, which was the default setting is when you get the trader is 25 lots. 3 times 25 gives you a 75% trading window. Now, it normally would never go down 75%. Coins don't do that. Even stocks don't do that. Even the market crash in 2000, Microsoft didn't drop 75%. This is very unprecedented territory we're in, which really, when I released the auto trader for cryptos in 2021, and the market started crashing, I'm thinking, oh my God, I released an auto trader and the market's crashing. I don't believe they're doing this to me. And I was amazed. Everybody was amazed because the auto trader performed beautifully in a crashing market. This auto trader has never seen an up market. We've seen up periods where like for a week, it'll go straight up. And man, do we clean up on that week because we're selling off all that inventory that we bought on the way down. We're selling it all off. Yeah. So you don't want. So what happens though is if he left it there, 3 times 12, if he left the 36% window and then, drop there, and then the coin drops more than that, he's going to run out of money because see what it says right down here? The notice? All funds except the profits saved, what's in that save bucket, will be used within those 12 lots. It's telling them that you're going to use up all your money in that, because that's why people lower the lots, is because they want to squeeze their money into a smaller window so you can invest more into the trade. If you have to spread it out more, then you're investing less per trade because you have to spread your money out further, okay? But safety is the most important thing. But a lot of people are just thinking, I want to be all in. I want to be all in. I want all my money working for me. It is working for you. It's just doing it smartly. It's not working for you doesn't mean it's got to just throw it all into crypto right away on day one. Because when that coin drops, you're dead. And all the millions of buy and holders out there, people that just bought and are sitting on it and watching those coins drop 90%, they're just dead. They're out. That's why I'm saying all of society is just they've checked out already when it comes to crypto. You can check that out. Wherever you go, mention crypto and watch how they run from you. And I do. I'll walk up in a UPS store. As I'm walking up to the guy, I'll say, "Hey, how's your crypto doing?" Because I'm excited about crypto. And they're like, "Oh man, my father lost everything." I'm like, "What? How?" Well, he bought Bitcoin at 60,000, it went down to 30,000, and then he sold it. And I don't know what to say. I don't want to tell him that his father that was crazy to do that. But that's what he did. He bought it. He went all in at 60,000. It went to 30 and he sold it, lost half his money.
Well,
When
it's
I go in a bank and when I walk into a bank, even now, I walk into a bank and they say, "Good morning, how are you?" That's the new vernacular out there. They don't say, "May I help you?" anymore like they used to. Now it's, "How are you?" And when they say that, anytime somebody asks me, how am I go, "Hey, crypto's up, I'm up." And you say that in a bank and you look around and everybody's looking at you. They hate me in the bank. Anyways, what happens then is I want to raise the number to help because he ran out of money, right? Because I'll get the call or I'll get an email. Someone will say, "Hey, how come my auto trader's not trading for 2 weeks?" Well, you ran out of money because it reached your 12 lots because you decided you wanted to be all in. You were so eager to get all your money in instead of letting the trader do more protection. So I want to raise that for the guy, right? But he's out of money. He's out of his principal money on this screen, on his select currency screen. He's out of principal money because this is the principal that he started with and he used it all up already. That's when I go to the money management, the profit management screen, and I say, why then now we have this extra money now we can release to the trader so that it can continue trading to the bottom. Okay. I cringe when I get to somebody's screen and I see that they had changed this to save 0%. And this has zero money in it. And I'm like, okay, well, your only choice now is to add more money from your bank account, I guess. I don't know what to say. But I love it when I go there and I see that they got a big bucket of profit saved. I'm like, yes, we can just release that to the trader.
But Ed, the thing
And
is, you might change your tune a little bit when we go into a bull market. We have a big uprun.
oh yeah,
People aren't living off of those. You might say, "Okay, gang, I'm all in. I'm putting my save bucket back into the auto trader."
yeah.
Volatility
And
picks up.
that's when you want to get aggressive, but don't get aggressive in this down market. We've been on a 5-year downtrend,
Yeah.
literally on a downtrend. And I'm so excited about that. You have no idea because I know BlackRock and all those guys, they are loaded up, man. Not only are they, I mean, BlackRock alone has $88 billion worth of crypto. Trump has $7 billion worth of crypto. Last I heard, Tom Brady had 60 million. I'm so excited. You know why? Because they all bought it up here, and the price is right now down here, all the way at the bottom. So this is beautiful. In order for them to make any money, they got to go there, and when they go there, they got to pay me. And this is where the rich get richer, buying at the bottom.
Yep.
Okay, did that help?
Yeah. Yes. Rick is not able to unmute, but I think that was really helpful. So type in any more questions if you need, Rick. Does anybody else have any questions? You raise your hand and unmute. Otherwise we
Sure.
can, yeah, go ahead. I don't see anybody popping their hand up. So Jeff.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't object to, what was his name, Abdel?
Mm-hmm.
My only objection is that he left and he wasn't interested in the answer
Yeah.
because he could have learned something. Instead, he decided to take off because in his mind, yeah, and that's how most people are, and that's how most people have been. It's how I was before I ever automated the market. You're looking at some charts and you're thinking, all right, everything looks like it's going up, buy. You want it to just go straight up instead of building a life trader that's going to grind money out forever. These coins can never move 5% up without giving me money for the rest of my life. Like I said, put a bucket anywhere in your house next to any door that you open and close. And every time you open and close that door, put $1 in there and watch the money grow. And as long as you continue to use that door, the money will flow. And there's nothing, it's reality. It's undeniable. It's not like I'm making this stuff up. I've been doing this for years. This is a money machine for life.
Yep, yep. All right. Well, thanks, Ed. If we have time, we can show the top trader reports if there aren't any other. Or Rick, or
All right.
Jeff, why don't you? I think most of the people that are on at the moment are.
I know Jeff Cernicki owns it. Jeff Cernicki owns a trader. He's like, that guy's got over $1 million in his account, man. Jeff, why don't you ask anything?
Ed.
Jeff, you know, Jeff
Hope you
has
didn't
been
mind
running.
that breach of confidentiality, perhaps, maybe, Jeff. I don't know. But you probably
Well,
know
Jeff's
Jeff a
been
long
running he's been running a stock traders, I think, all the way since around 2005.
Yeah.
So he knows the stuff that I'm doing works.
Yeah, that's true.
He retired. I'm going to tell you Jeff's story. He was always getting the buyout offer at AT&T. He's as old as I am. And he was always getting a buyout offer because he was talking to me for years. And they kept trying to offer him a lot of money to retire. Quit, so we can hire younger people, I guess. And so, and then finally his auto trader started making more money than he was making at work.
Oh my gosh.
And then it's like, why am I going to work when my auto trader's cranking out more profits every month than they're paying me? So he finally took the buyout offer.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I know one day when Jeff has his microphone, there's not a microphone. He has issues with his mic that maybe he can unmute and chat with us all, because I know I love hearing people's stories, and it's helpful for others kicking tires, because it really is a paradigm shift in thinking when you're just, brainwashed to look at the P&L all the time and not focus on just taking profits, and just have patience. We're not guessing here. We're just showing up where the money is and loading the shelves with product, and that's just the numbers going up and down. So let's pull up the top trader report real quick, Ed, and maybe we can end.
Here it is.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's on the website. You can go to the website.
Yep.
Well, what is your link though? Your discount link.
I'll paste it.
GoBabyTrade.com /
impact earnings. Yep. So you guys can go there. There is if this resonates with you, there's a $1,000 discount if you go through the link.
And then when you go to pricing, it'll show you the link down here. It shows you the regular price is $44.99, but it's lowered. It lowered it by 1,000. And then the payment methods are debit or credit card. It's at the bottom, or crypto. You can pay with crypto. And then there's another one I added not too long ago. Affirm. Affirm is the company that allows you to make payments. So you can sign up to make payments.
Yeah, I got to remind people about that, because everybody's been asking for payment plans for so long. And thank you for doing that, Ed. That's a great option for
people
folks.
were asking for that.
Yep. So that's cool.
So yeah, if you sign up, if you go there with GoBabyTrade.com / impact earnings, it'll lower the price automatically.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
then here's the top trader report. This report looks back a year. If there's any manual trades, it'll knock it off the report. We don't, because I don't know what you're doing if you're manually trading. Most traders, like my auto trader, has no manual trades in it. It's just, I let the auto trader do everything. I never go in. I never get antsy and say, I'm going to buy more of this coin because I get excited, because I've seen other people do it. I watched somebody buy $40,000 worth of XRP Ripple, and that was a few months ago, and manually, and she used up all her money. So the auto trader didn't have any money left, and then she called back a few weeks later and said, how come my auto trader's not trading? I'm like, there's no money in this account. It's like you went to the store and left your purse at home. I mean, I don't know what to say, and then, what I feel real bad about it is when that happened, I think XRP was at like $2.50 a share, and now it's at $1.37. so it's like it went down, but down is good, if you have to have patience because it's the market. It's, I can't make the coins go up faster, but sometimes they will. And watch when, all right, let me say this. When I first turned on the Auto Trader in April of 21, between April and October of 21, before the crypto winter hit, the market was going straight up. It was literally vertical. And my account was up 200% that fast. Everybody, Jeff knows, everybody's account was, man, we were flying. We were making so many thousands every day. It was crazy. And then the whales decided they wanted in, man. And that's when they started playing their games and they created this crypto winter where they started driving everything down and driving everybody out, trying to drive everybody out so they can own all the shares. Because watch when they rocket this coins back to where they should be. Some of these coins should be sitting at $20 a share. They're sitting at 2 cents. It's a joke. It's an insult to humanity what they're doing. And the public doesn't seem to see it. But I see it because I've been watching these people play these games for 25 years, just like they did with the bank stocks in 2008. They pushed them all the way down to $1, got everybody out, and then they rocketed them to $50 a share. And then they got richer and leave everybody else going back to their regular jobs. Everybody out there doesn't realize, I don't care what job you have. I don't care if you work at Jack in the Box. You are this close to being a millionaire. Just get on board. Because every day that you're not on board, number one, you're not building inventory, which the Auto Trader needs time to do. Whoops. I never know how that does that. Anybody know how that does that?
No, I don't, but sometimes it screws up. Yeah.
I never could figure that out.
And Jeff,
Anyway,
if you want to go ahead and unmute, you could.
And every day that you don't have an Auto Trader, you're not taking profits on the wiggles.
Yeah, it's so true.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm so bored with the money the Auto Trader makes that it just takes it. It's so automatic that I don't think about it. But remember, I always talk about I found $1 on the street. I was coming out of a Trader Joe's or a Sprouts store, and $1 blew right in front of me. Here it is. I put it in my wallet.
Yeah.
Look at this dollar. It was like a good luck dollar. I don't know. I'm more excited about finding $1 on the street than I am an Auto Trader that takes thousands out of the market every month.
Find free money, that's for sure.
It's just, if you found money on the ground every day, you'd be looking down when you're walking. And that's what the Auto Trader does. After a while, you've been running it. I hear it from a lot of people. It's not just me. A lot of people say the same thing, It's just boring. I took all the sport out of the market. It's just boring. Now it's just watching it grind out money and you don't even really think about it.
Well, and you don't even watch it. You just take the money.
Yeah, I mean, when I log into my Auto Trader to see what's going on is when I'm doing a webinar, and I get invited to webinars a few times a week, and then I bring up my trader to see how things are going. Otherwise I don't even. Yeah, you could look at it on your cell phone. You can look at it on your cell phone all day. It's just a web browser. You just go to GoBabyTrade.com on your Safari browser on your phone and bring it up.
Well, I love
that. This isn't your Auto Trader. The actual Auto Trader is running on the servers. This is a website telling you what the Auto Trader is doing.
Yeah, just the interface for us that you allow us to
Well, it's got other little things that I didn't mention, like down in here, you got the health meter. If you click on the health meter, it actually it evaluates everything and just tells you if it sees any problems in your trader, like in your settings. And now these are all saying they're all green, so everything is good.
Mm-hmm.
But you might see a yellow one up there. A yellow one would be like if you did a manual trade. It's just saying, yeah, you know what? We frown against that. You can do it, but be aware that manual trades can be dangerous because you're using up money that the Auto Trader's thinks it has to use, and you're using it up, and you may be using it up all wrong. You're not doing money management with that money. You're just plopping it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're selling positions too early, that kind of stuff. You're gambling. So it'll give you a warning. That's just a warning. Or it'll be a red X, a big X, and that just says, hey, you're out of money on one coin. One of your coins is short on funds. Boom. It'll tell you that. And then I go here if that happens, if I ever get that, because it pops up on your screen too, at the top of the screen of your auto trader. It'll put the health meter in red up there. I just go to spread funds equally, this amount of money here, because it can borrow from one coin, and loan it, to the other. I hit spread funds equally, so it takes the funds remaining. See the funds remaining, and it kind of divvies it
One's
up.
kind of slower and needs some help, then you can take it from the other. Yeah.
Yeah, because like this one here used $186,000 of his available money, and this one only used 108. So he had excess money, and he could loan it to this guy,
Or just give it.
some of these.
Yeah.
He could not loan it, but give it. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
And you can always send email to support. I talk to everybody. We do, I have a support department.
Yeah, support's awesome. And it's just a testament, Ed, to you guys are just run such a well-oiled machine with the auto trader that you have a very small support group for thousands of
I don't need
clients. And yeah, it's just really awesome. I appreciate
my old system that was downloadable software that had 10 screens that you could change. And because it was downloadable software, it was running on people's computers all over the world. And if they did a Windows update or whatever, and they're having problems with Windows, they would be calling us, like we're the Geek Squad. It's like, it has nothing to do with GoBabyTrade. That's you guys, that's Windows. That's call Microsoft or call your ISP. So I had 40 support people back then, because it was just crazy, the support, because it was downloadable software. Now, since I rewrote the software in 2020 to run on my servers, so I've got a huge cage at a co-location center with racks of servers, and I mean millions of dollars of infrastructure here, and to run all the auto traders on it. So it's running on our ecosystem within it's in its own world, and it's so much better. Because I mean, it doesn't have to go to the World Wide Web for stuff. Everything is there. The servers are talking to each other, and the data feeds and everything. It's fantastic. Everything runs 1,000 times faster. You don't have to worry about, is your auto trader running every day? It's always running 24/7, and I'm at ease with it. If you think about it, don't you think I'd be a little nervous? That I've got thousands of clients all over the world running these auto traders, and their auto traders are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's crazy, but I'm at peace with the planet. I mean, it all works, and we do our own security, our own backups. I mean, the constant every half hour backups. I mean, everything. It's pretty secure, and we wrote everything in-house. I don't use Amazon Cloud or anything like that. We do it all.
That's incredible, Ed. I'm going to have you maybe talk a little bit more about that on an upcoming call, just because some people ask those questions and we get some technical folks on. And I just think that's so incredible. And the transparency too, of just not only just what you show us and what we're able to see, and also everybody sees those same transactions within their Coinbase account. So it's all right there. The strategy is not hidden. You know exactly what you're doing. You're in control of your funds. Some people ask, are you comfortable having all that money in a Coinbase account? Because it's
I am.
I love your response to that. It's a centralized exchange, and those guys are a publicly traded company. Maybe share your 2 cents about that.
Yeah. Well, Coinbase and Kraken are two US-based exchanges, and Coinbase trades on the the US stock market. I don't know if it's NASDAQ or NYSE, but they're regulated and all. I feel a lot more secure than just opening up, connecting to some exchange in some other country, some foreign country out there. There's a lot of exchanges went out. I heard like 100 exchanges disappeared. Yeah, and they just rob all the money when they disappear. And I've got a lot of clients with over $1 million accounts, and in Coinbase ain't cracking. Some running multiple accounts, spreading their $1.5 million in one account, $1.5 million in another account. you know, and they all feel good. And not only that, I used to have these trade ledgers. They're a device you plug into your USB on your computer.
Hard wallet.
And it was before I automated the market, just before I automated it. I just started writing the code. But I had Shiba Inu that I bought from another exchange, and I had it on that trade ledger device. And I made a backup just in case. So I had a duplicate trade ledgers so I could log into the same account, you know. And I threw one in the safe. One day I went to use the one that I had on my keychain, and it wouldn't work for no reason. It just would not let me log in. I put the seed words in and all, and it did not work. So I went to the safe. I plugged in the new one. The backup. Email, name, and password. Boom! I was in. As soon as I got in, I transferred my Shiba Inu because that's all I bought at the time, and I threw it into Coinbase, and they just started trading Shiba Inu, so that was great, because I was like the first customer that put it in there, and then I'm like, I'll never use those external devices. I trust Coinbase more than I do those crazy devices because, man, you lose everything. If you lose that device, you're dead.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't believe in cold storage. And then you can't trade it or anything. It's like silver dollars in a drawer. When silver ran to over $100 an ounce, that silver dollars are still sitting in your drawer. And then it came all the way back down to 68 or something, or I don't know where it's at now. But it's like you didn't make a dime. It went up and then it came down. You could be running a GoBabyTrade auto trader trading just stocks and just, stock trader and put SLV, right? That one symbol on 2% moves up and down. I mean, I didn't even care that it ran to 100. For 20 years, I've got clients that have been just trading one coin in their stock trader, SLV. And they've already rolled their money over multiple times. And it would go down to 11 and then go back up to 22 and down to 16. And it was just up and down. I didn't care that it went to 100. Actually, even all these coins, I love them more at these crazy low prices than I would if they were higher. I don't want to buy this coin at $100 a share. I mean, we'll get there when we get there, folks. You know, we'll see what's going on when these coins get that high. You know, I mean, we'll still trade them, of course, because we got the market trapped. They can't wiggle without giving us money forever. But I just love the idea that we can put so much into these coins at these ridiculously, insultingly low prices. I call them insultingly low. Because at this point, there's no way these coins belong at these prices.
Yeah.
Like GRT, it's up 7% now. You know, but they keep trying to push that thing below 2.5 cents, and they were not able to do it. I've been watching them for weeks. They keep trying to go down there, but they can't do it. And it keeps going back up.
Good.
It's at a record low. That coin has no resistance all the way to 9 cents. If you look at the charts, that thing could jump to 9 cents right now. Boom. And there's no resistance. Anytime BlackRock feels like pushing that coin to 9 cents, they could do it. And they will do it. Watch when the time comes. And we got all that inventory.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. Well,
I know.
thank you, Ed. Thank you so much for.
I don't want to go. Rick didn't ask anything. Don didn't ask anything. We're gonna be here all day, folks. Everybody has to ask you at least one question.
We did answer Rick's question, but he can't unmute. So, and anybody else can unmute. Yeah, go for it. But everybody's shy. So
that's all right.
Okay. Well, thanks, you guys. Thanks for joining us, Ed, as always. Thank you so much for taking time for us and being so
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, and dedicating 25 years so we can have a tool like this. I'm grateful for you.
So I can have a tool like this. You know, I didn't just do it for everybody else. I'm using it too.
Hey, you are.
So, you know, and I need the infrastructure for me also. So yeah, it's cool.
All right. Well, you have an incredible weekend. Same for everybody else. And I have a community call next Friday. I'll send a little information about it if anybody wants to pop on that. And then we'll see Ed in a couple of weeks. So thanks again, Ed. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. God bless you, Francine. And
you
God bless
too.
all you guys. Thank you.
Everybody. Thanks. Bye.
Go Navy.
Go Navy.